Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly, and got a good one for you today because the Avalanche has started. There's no two ways about it. And please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification. And today we've got a sponsor, Patriot Gold, which I'll talk about a little later. First things first, guys. Your life, my life, our lives are like sitting in a ski resort right now at the chalet, looking at the mountain in front of you, and you're starting to see the ice crack away from the mountain, and right before it comes crashing down. That's what's about to happen. And either it takes us all out, or we get out of the way, we go to safety, or you're sitting on a beach and there's an earthquake offshore and the tide gets sucked out, and you go, oh, I've never seen a beach do that before. If that's the case, you have a tsunami. That's what we're about to experience right now, guys. And it is nothing short of an absolute disaster, an epic disaster, but it has started and it's totally official right now. And I'm going to walk you through some of the cool boats down here off Marina Cove, which is just really, really epic and beautiful and just nice. Okay. But I have to thank a subscriber, Steven, who is arguably one of the most connected people that has reached out to me. And let's put it this way. Stephen is high up in the construction industry in Canada. Okay. I'm not going to go any further than that. And he was in a meeting recently talking to high-rise developers in the Toronto area. And first things first, you're going to see these Toronto developers, if they stay in business, that'll be shocking. But you're going to see things that we've never witnessed before. So I try to get this. Brookfield Development. They had $1.8 billion in projects, $1.8 billion in real estate that is on the coast of Lake Ontario. Canceled by corporate. Done. Finished. Cannot do that. Don't go ahead with it. Think of all the pre-sales that they were going to make. Think of all the pre-sales that didn't happen. I'm going to get into that a little bit later too. Next thing is a place called Center Court. There's another large high-rise development that was supposed to have 7 projects developed. 7. Okay? They canceled 6 of the 7 right now. So if this doesn't tell you the scope of where real estate's at, you're clueless. Now the next one is a banker in what they call the low-rise developments. And these condos were selling for $1.2 million. What the bank said was that they're going to reevaluate these homes and reappraise them prior to the final close of escrow. Because what they anticipate is that most of these condos are going to sell and appraise at about $1 million. But the builder said, hey, don't worry. We're going to give you a second mortgage at 4% for the $200,000. Who would do that? Now, guys, I got to live in that box in the sky. It's so important to me. Condo living, high-rise condo living, it's not cheap, guys. You've got parking fees, homeowners associations, different builders maintenance too. But if you don't see the writing on the wall with this, you're kidding yourself right now, because this is going to be an epic collapse. So that's the beginning of this, guys, right now. And again, I really appreciate Steven's expertise in this, because without this, I mean, I wouldn't have had this story. This is going to be the avalanche that takes out thousands of people. You have to look at this. You have to take this seriously, because everything is upside down right now. Banking is a problem. Getting more and more people reaching out about their PayPal accounts getting frozen for $16,000, $61,000. One guy called in today and pled with me to talk to him. You know, get yourself an attorney. You know, that's the thing. I get people that are in business and what's the attorney going to cost? Are you kidding? They're holding $61,000 from you. What are you joking? What if he cost you $1,000? Would that be worth getting the $61,000 back? Oh, that's a lot of money. You're kidding yourself. There is a price of doing business, and there's a thing called professional fees, like your accountant and your lawyer and people like that you need to have in your life that save you money. So again, you know if you're doing something nefarious. If they caught you, you're done, because they're looking to catch you right now. So with that being said, a lot of people are upside down with this. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. Let's face it, the stock market this year has been such an up and down ride, and it's complete carnage for most people. You need an edge, and that edge is a 401k or IRA that's backed by physical metals. The best place to do that is Patriot Gold Group. They are the #1 rated, best in class with consumer affairs for 6 years in a row. And again, no fee, IRA or 401k for life. And if you have an existing IRA and you want to transfer it over, there is no tax liability, and they can take care of all that. You need to call 888-330-1431 today and get connected with them. Get a free investor guide and ask the questions that you want to ask, and you'll be really pleased. But do it before it's too late, because with everything that's happening, we are about to experience something in our lifetimes that we have never seen before. And let's face it, when you look at billionaires like John Paulson, he steps forward and says the Fed's plan is not working. And what the Fed is doing is only going to create a crash. And when that crash happens, people are going to flock to gold. So get yourself into an IRA or 401k backed by precious metals at Patriot Gold. Call 888-330-1431 today and let them know that I allegedly sent you. If you don't want to call, use the link below, click on it, and fill out the information, and they will send out the investor guide for you. Let them know that I allegedly sent you. Thanks. Now, one more quick story from Stephen out of Canada. He has a friend that's a very large contractor, and the large contractor went into his bank and asked the banker, hey, come on, tell me, how is it? How are things right now? And the bank said, listen, it's such a problem that 7 out of 10 of our mortgage customers are asking to remortgage, or in other words, refinance their mortgage. That's how bad it is. So guys, this is a complete disaster that you've just seen, again, the crack away from the mountain. You've just seen this thing just break away to where it's going to take everybody out. But the problem is people want to watch. People want to sit there and I don't believe this avalanche is going to be that big, Dan. I think you're an idiot. Okay, that's fine. I am buying as much gold and as much silver as I can right now. That's what I'm doing. BizNow had a great article about UK real estate. Think about this. Let's jump from Canada to the United Kingdom. They had their biggest drop in real estate prices, 2.6% in a month, since the Brexit vote. Not since the health crisis? No, Dan, since Brexit. This is bigger than that. And again, that's what you have to start looking at, is that things go beyond the now. Things go beyond anything that we've seen right now. Microsoft. Remember Microsoft, the company that's impervious to layoffs and impervious to an economic downturn because of all the things that we have to buy to run our computers and run our lives? Well, they just announced that they're going to lay off over 1,000 people. Now, I want you to think about this. This is not 1,000 baristas. This is not children. These are heads of household, and these are people at various stages in the company, from engineers to developers to different people that all run their own homes and have families. And there's another 1,000 people that will be looking for a job right now. If that does not make you go, that's a real problem, then I don't know what is. Okay? Snuck up on me. So, next thing you cannot deny around the United States is that rents are going through the roof. And you're seeing rates higher than they've ever been to rent even a one-bedroom place. There is an algorithm that a lot of these developers and management companies use from a company called RealPage. It's called YieldStar. And what this does is it uses artificial intelligence to determine what the rents should be for people. Now you can sit there and say, oh, big deal, what's that do? No, what it does, and if you read the article below out of BizNow, it's disgusting because it takes out the word empathy from everything. The machine doesn't care if you have children. The machine doesn't care if your wife is sick. The machine doesn't care that, you know, your husband gets paid in cash and you get paid on a W-2, doesn't care. Raise the rates, you're no good, don't rent to this person. This creates a real problem because it is artificially inflated the price for rentals around the country. And these people are relying on this, and it's only getting worse. Now, again, when you hear this, I mean, you know, we're living in Terminator 2 days, guys, where the T-1000 is going to show up next, okay? But this is why people can't afford rent. It's because of some machine. And if you read this, 90% of these companies are using this because it just takes, we don't have to worry about this. We don't have to deal with what we should be charging, what the right thing is. And it click, 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 clicks it up. So wages are not high enough. People are not being able to get through this inflationary spike right now. And again, if you think that this is going to end, you are absolutely delusional. All of the farmers that write me tell me one thing: we don't have the crops, we're not producing the output that we have in previous years prior to the health crisis. So a normal year, let's put it that way. Now, the next thing is beef and pigs and chickens are all being diminished with no way to feed them and no rain and no things like that. So you can blame anything you want on this, but what you're going to see is the output for 2023 completely destroyed, and it's going to affect people dramatically. Now, with that being said, the average person in this area, 58% of their income goes towards their house payment. That's insane, guys. That is talking about a good life. That's I don't care how much money you make, because if somebody makes 300 grand, they go get themselves $300,000 for the house. And same thing with an apartment. Again, the people that rent right now, man, do you have it made. You don't have to deal with fixing the place up. You don't have to deal with construction delays, supply chain issues, nothing. You just have to deal with that landlord that better fix it when you call. So this will not last forever, but you're going to see an epic collapse around real estate at some point. You're going to see massive amounts of houses available. And the lie that there's a housing shortage is crazy, because these condo projects that are falling apart in Canada, here in the United States, what about the ones that cannot sell? This is the best part. The people that cannot pre-sell condos, that's the other thing that Stephen talked about, was there were no pre-sales of these condos. People were not coming in and, hey, get on the list. Put down your deposit. Put that $1,000 down and we'll reserve the unit. None of that, guys. It's off. Zero. Okay? This is happening. The morons that came up with the idea, I'm in the flight path, guys, so bear with me for that. The morons that came up with the idea that we were all going to live in a box and not want to have a backyard or a balcony or a place to, take our dog out, think about that. It's crazy. But, they're going to have a lot of these things that are going to go on sale at some point. You're going to see massive bankruptcies from the builders. And again, I'm waiting for like Lennar and Pulte and all the big builders to announce their unfinished houses next. So share your thoughts on this. I like these two stories. There's a great story on builder sentiment and builder confidence, which to me is the same thing, but it's all in how it's worded. Now, the first one, builder sentiment. They started keeping track of builder sentiment in 1985, and this has been the worst builder sentiment season ever since they started keeping records in 1985. 10 straight months of a decline where builders are saying it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Now, builder confidence is even getting worse. This is held by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo has a problem because they say that the builder confidence is at its lowest level. And, when you guys think about this, this is only going to get worse. This is the beginning of all this right now. And they're surprised by this because when you look at the Fed, and the Fed's getting ready for its meeting, and again, a great story, I'm kind of wrapping things together right now. The Fed is saying, hey, we didn't think that inflation would be this out of control. These people are delusional. These people created the inflation, and now they're upset that it's going to continue. Think about this laugh. We think we can get inflation next year down to 4.6%. Where? Where? At their house? I mean, come on. If they go and they buy gas, if they buy food, if they buy a car, if they pay rent, if they pay for building materials, if they pay for absolutely anything, they're going to see the price continue to skyrocket, and it's going to be much higher than 4.6%. So the Fed has got a big decision to make at its November meeting. No, they don't. They're going to raise interest rates, but they should be doing it on a daily basis right now if this is the key to fix everything. I don't think it's the key to fix everything, and I think that this is now looking pretty intentional, guys, that we're seeing banks starting to do things. I'm getting stories from around the world right now, and the first one is from Carol out of the Central Valley here in California, which is our farm area here in California. A lot of stuff is grown in the Central Valley, but the big problem right now are certain green vegetables and tomatoes, especially. The crop yield is nothing right now. And it's so much so, it's upside down that you're going to see a shortage on tomato sauce in early 2023. That is crazy, guys, when you think about that. So stock up now. You've heard it here, but, I think that this is nuts. Now, the next one, dog's barking at me, is Denise out of the UK. There is a famous department store called Marks and Spencer's. And Marks and Spencer's, not only are they closing 67 of their stores, and they're blaming the economic downturn on that, and that people don't have the money to keep up with inflation right now, and the stores can't stay open. They're large department stores. Here's the worst thing. They're no longer accepting cash. No more cash. Credit cards only. Now you can sit there and say, oh, that's no big deal. No, it's a huge deal, because what's happening is that at the store, people are abandoning merchandise at the checkout line because they have the cash to pay for merchandise, and they can't do it. Can't do the transaction, that is. So, people are tapped out right now. People have used credit to just kind of eat right now, and the cash that they have, they want to be able to spend. Being told you can't spend it, that should concern you. Being told you can't buy money orders to put into Charles Schwab, that should be a concern for everybody as well. Because also, the lower income level people right now use money orders for their checking accounts. They go to the liquor stores, they go to the gas stations, they go to the post office and buy money orders. And now you can't use them. So Elle, remember the famous Elle we talked about earlier in the week about her financial stuff, or I guess it was last week. She wrote me again and has a great story out of the UK where they're talking about having blackouts in certain parts of the UK, but don't worry, it'll only be between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. That's like here in California, guys. That's what they're doing here in California. So this is nuts, guys. And, you pay your electric bill. Why don't they work on infrastructure? But they're going to have, you're going to have electric cars everywhere. Speaking of electric cars, half a dozen people sent me this one. The new Rolls Royce, the electric Rolls Royce, Okay, think about this. The level of richness to afford a Rolls Royce. People are either snobs and horrible people, or they're incredibly generous and nice people. I've met both that drive those cars. But the last thing they want to do is sit around for 30 minutes and watch it charge. Okay? So 300 miles. Think about this. You couldn't get out of a state. Most states are wider than 300 miles. So they're not going to Vegas on that car. They're not going to travel on that with that car. And it's going to be a mess. But it's going to sell for, $500,000, and it's insane. So share your thoughts on this, guys, if you think that this is crazy, because the infrastructure is so bad in the UK that they are threatening power outages between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m., but you need to have an electric car. Tell me what I'm not smoking, because I want it, okay? There has to be a level of just normalcy, a level of rationality with all this stuff. And you're supposed to not feed your family, not heat your house, and just live in the dark, okay? So that's what they want us to do. Please let me know how you think about this stuff. If I'm way off base, because again, all the stories on this are attached below. Share your thoughts. Now, more international fun from around the world. First thing is Japan. Prime Minister Kishida doesn't like the dropping value of the yen compared to the dollar. So he says if it hits the 150 level, he's going to get involved. Okay, Dad, get involved. It's time to get involved, Prime Minister Kishida, because they're looking at different alternatives of things that they will have to do. But again, it's going to happen. It's going to happen again. And the next thing that's a big problem is France. France is like, hey, these high borrowing costs and the threat that the United States is going to raise interest rates is going to create problems for us. And we need to do something about this. We have to fix your own country, guys. That's what you need to do. So, you know, the world's problem solver, the United States. Anyways, I don't think they're going to ask me to do any commercials for Japan or for France right now. 98% of all the large executives that were asked from large corporations said that we are coming into a huge economic downturn, and that the problems with inflation, the problems with borrowing costs, again, how much loans are, the fact that the retail numbers have dropped. They dropped dramatically, and it was a surprise to everybody. Who believes that? Who sits there and thinks that retail sales going down is, wow, what a shock that people aren't spending money out at the stores. People don't have the money right now to spend. People are looking at ways to make $100 last as long as they can, and that's the problem. Guys, I've been there. I have been so broke in my life that I've had to budget everything. And telling you, it was the worst of times and it was the best of times. And today you're going to think, oh, this guy's an a-hole for saying that. No, because it made me the person I am today, that handles money completely differently than I did, you know, a few years ago. Okay, let's put it that way. Hasbro, the big toy company, they're shocked at that their sales are down. They're shocked that their inventory is through the roof right now. Well, let me tell you this. People are not going to buy kids toys when they're worried about heating the house. It's just not going to happen. So you have a choice to make. We're either going to heat the house, or we're going to buy him the new Hasbro toy, whatever it is. And you know what's great is my kids aren't young anymore, so I don't even know what's popular right now. But I do know that Hasbro is hurting, and they're anticipating a horrible holiday season this year. I think all retailers should look at this right now, because if you think that there's going to be this insane Black Friday and we're all going to get in line and you know, wait to get that TV set for $199, you're out of your mind. You've lost it, because that's never going to happen this year. People do not have the money to eat. People are trying to get by right now, and their jobs are getting just slashed. The hours are getting slashed. The insurance costs are going up. And that's the other thing. Looking at my own health insurance and life insurance and everything like that, it's through the roof right now, guys. Absolutely skyrocketed for that stuff. Now, I have a great insurance man, woman. Please don't inundate me with stuff, okay? That's not what I need right now. But again, everything is going up. Homeowners insurance is going up through the roof. Renters insurance is still fairly reasonable, but it's spiked dramatically. Auto insurance is going through the roof. And you have to have all this stuff. Here in California, it's a crime if you don't have auto insurance. So see if they arrest people when they get into an accident with that, without it. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys, because we're starting to see a trend that globally there is a problem with all of this stuff. And if you don't think that this is going to just get worse, you're kidding yourself. There's not going to be some magic day where this gets better. The banking situation is getting worse. The fact that they're limiting the money that we can take out, the money that we can put in places, is a concern. How we spend the cash is a concern. This should keep you up at night, and you should be planning on how you're going to get through this. Oh, Dan, if we did that and worried about this, we'd never get anything done. No. Your business, your own personal person, you yourself, a person of one, you've got to work on things for yourself. You've got to work on your health. You've got to work on your security. You got to work on your money. You got to work on every aspect of your life and your business. And again, you'll sleep better at night if you have all these things in place. But if you think that things are just going to slow down and, oh, this will just get better over time and they're going to fix it, wait till the election happens and everything's going to be so much better. Guys, I'm telling you guys, this is like, one of those drag racing videos where you see the car explode halfway down the quarter mile and just disintegrate. That's where we're headed right now. The avalanche that I talked about earlier, that's where we're headed right now. The avalanche is going to break away from that mountain and come down, and either people are going to get taken out or they're going to get to safety. And only you can get yourself ready for this. And get rid of debt. You know, I talked to Chris from Financial Prepper today. He's a really good guy. And Chris, his whole thing is reality. And if you live in reality and you look at your situation, you know if you're in debt, you know if you're spending beyond your means, you really do. You can trick yourself and say, hey, I'm going to close that one big deal, or my boss is going to give me more money, or he'll never fire me. He's going to fire all these other minions. You're kidding yourself right now. You need to live in reality because they are cutting people's hours, they are cutting jobs, they are doing everything right now. And for my people that are retired right now, if you have not spoken to a financial planner and you have not made a plan for the future to make sure that your money is secure, because I have had so many people write me and say, hey, I pulled all my money out of the stock market, I've got it in a safe spot. Okay, I'm not giving people financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor. But that being said, you need to get yourself ready for right now for what's coming, because what's coming is not going to be pretty. So let me know what you guys think about this. A little bit more to cover today. I'm going to finish this video with the last couple stories. And the first one is out of the New York Post, talking about real estate is just completely upside down. And New York real estate especially is just a complete disaster right now. As interest rates go over 7%, you're seeing this thing completely fall apart. And it only gets worse. But again, guys, this is going to be the story that keeps on giving to iAllegedly. The next thing is Yum Brands, that owns Pizza Hut. They just came out with some great new products that I don't know who would want, okay? And that is, they have what they call melts now to profit on the melt industry. What is that? Well, basically it's 2 pieces of dough on the bottom, on the top, with pie-shaped stuff stuffed inside of it, okay? Like a quesadilla, I guess you'd call it, but they're going to call it a melt, okay? Pizza is for me. Pizza is for we, melts are for me, is what their ads are, which is insane. Again, I don't think they're going to ask iAllegedly to sponsor the melts anytime soon, okay? Another thing I want to mention is there is the coolest YouTube account out there called iAllegedly Shorts, where this person has made these brilliant shorts, and I'm going to share the link, and they're incredibly talented. And every day when I think it peaks and, oh, this is the best one, it gets better and better and better. So thank you, iAllegedly Shorts. It's a very cool fan account to have out there, and I truly appreciate it. And I will do great things for you as a result of doing this for me. Please do not forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget the big party, November 12th. We just secured the hotel for people that are coming in from out of town. So a very cool way that we're going to do this. Going to announce it. It looks like tomorrow we're going to announce everything. So onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being here.